This is my very first self-portrait in 2022. And this is my latest self-portrait. Hello, my name is Amber. I just turned 17, and as every year I do, well, actually not every year, I do a lot of self-portraits quite often. So yeah, this is just another thing. I have a lot of sketchbooks going on. By the way, check out my sketchbook tours. But we will be using this one first to make the first portrait of today. And I wanted to do this mirror to mirror. Well, actually mirror to paper instead of looking it from a picture. Because, I don't know, self-portraits can really help you self-reflect on yourself, every single little detail about you. And I'm not only talking about the appearance, but also like your mood, your feelings. You can document your life through your outward appearance, but of course you're also documenting your feelings. Once you make a self-portrait, you're not able to hide from mirrors anymore. You're not able to hide from a camera. You're not able to hide behind anyone else. I think that is something that I have to remind myself pretty often, actually, to make myself present, to not make myself invisible, because if it's through me, like, I can really go invisible, if I stop talking and I just start observing people, I can go days like that. So self-portraits really make me see the reality, make me feel like I'm there, I'm present. And they're not always pretty. They can express so many things, and yeah, they help you capture what's within you instead of what's around you. You are not able to hide anymore, as I said. And this was the final result for my first drawing of myself on my 17th birthday. And as I said, I try to make at least one self-portrait on my birthday as I can. I don't usually do anything on my birthdays, so it is a great experience. I don't know why I feel like I'm talking like Nara Smith. I'm sorry. But it is a great experience to do each year consecutively. Hello, I hope you are enjoying this video. I'd like to mention real quick that I have an imprint shop where you can find art prints of my art. I would be really happy if you could see them, if you want them, if you want to buy them. I would be so grateful to you. I also want to mention that I have an Instagram where I post a lot of pictures about my art and what I'm doing on my daily life mostly. So yeah, I would be really happy if you could check this out. And let's continue with this video. This is another sketchbook where I will also be doing another self-portrait, but this time with watercolor. And I want to talk a little bit about how important it is for artists to make self-portraits. Even if you're not an artist, I highly recommend you doing one. It helps you tons with not only self-esteem problems, which if you do, it'll also help. But while I was doing a little research for this video, I found some really helpful information. So here's a few little things that most of them I already mentioned, but let me tell you a few. First, self-portraits can help you self-reflect on yourself. Second, you're always present. If you make a self-portrait on paper, or on digital media, you are there. You are always there. Third, you don't have to be identical. I know that this is a self-portrait and it is supposed to reflect who you are, how you look like. You can always make it as abstract as you want or as literal as you want. I don't remember what number I was in, but next, all of our art is an extension of ourselves. So self-portraits are just more literal, more obvious. I used to think that you could separate the art from the artist, but now that I am a little more into it, now I think that you really cannot. I mean, us as artists, we create extensions of ourselves, of our identities, of our personalities, who we look like. So I think everything we do is a part of ourselves, an extension, as I said. So self-portraits are just a little bit more obvious, They will help historians talk about you easier. Next, you can document your life through them, through self-portraits, with your outward appearance or with your moods, feelings, and emotions. Yeah, so basically, as I said, I do one of these each year, but I really be doing quite a lot of self-portraits through the year. It is one of my main themes of portraits that I do. And one of the reasons, well, I already mentioned many reasons, but one of them is being that I'm always there. I always have myself as a reference, so it is easier. Instead of looking for models on Pinterest, I already have myself. I already have a phone that I can take a picture with, or I already have a mirror that I can look myself in. So it is easier because you're already there. Just be careful. Don't be like me. Don't be too harsh on yourself. I think especially when I'm making portraits of anyone, but especially me, I am pretty tight. With other people, I do feel like I can take a little bit more liberty, but if we're talking about me, if I'm making a self-portrait, I do feel a little bit more pressured, but it shouldn't be that way. While I was doing research for this video, I found this self-portrait made by Wen John on the 1900s. Now, let me ask you a couple of questions about her. What does her pose tell you? Her hands, her claws, the way her eyes are looking at us, the composition, the overall painting mood. Think about it for a couple of seconds and write your answer in the comments if you want. I'm sorry if that seemed too obvious that I'm begging for comments. I am genuinely sorry. Well, I'll link the article below in the description of where I read this, but basically she was an art student in the 1900s, and of course it was mainly studied by men. Arts was a career, well, most of the careers were only made by men, so she was pretty much the only woman in her college, I guess. And I feel like by looking at this portrait, she can tell she's a strong woman, She's independent, she seems well put together, she seems confident in herself, and Can you hear my cat? And yeah, she seems confident, only by her gaze. And I feel like she's not including like a lot of things, like literal objects, into her painting from here. But I feel like she's telling us enough, even if she didn't realize she was doing it. Which, by the way, she must have, because she was pretty talented. Now, this is still Wen Zhan, but this is in the 1902. What does this portrait tell you? It's the same woman 2 years later. Look at it for a few seconds and I'll ask you a couple questions. What makes this self-portrait so different from the first one we saw? Well, first one for me is the composition. She's centered in the canvas instead of being all over the canvas, instead of covering it all. Second of all, her clothes. These are so much vibrant and they are tighter to her. And third, I think the most important one is her face, her expression. Her gaze is not as strong and as confident and like dominant and she just seems way more relaxed. And again, do your own conclusions. You are totally allowed to do that. And also check out the article that I read, because it is genuinely so interesting. And by the way, I'll leave a couple of self-portraits that you can check out by the end of this video, because they are truly amazing and done by amazing artists. So yeah, you should totally check those out. And by the way, I feel like I skipped a lot of steps in this self-portrait, but that is because I accidentally stopped recording and I continued painting. So yeah, I feel like that was a huge step. So yeah, please forgive me because of that. And that is all from me. I'd like to present you a couple of self-portraits, not done by me, but by other artists. So yeah, check those out. Check the links in the description, and thank you so much for watching. You're amazing. Bye.